Hello everyone, and welcome to another Miniature Monday. I'm Scott, and today we are completing our look at classic monsters with a beast that has been roaming our nightmares for centuries. With the full moon out, let us face the werewolf. This model by Reaper Bones has a combination of fur and human-like musculature that should make for a very interesting paint job. I'm planning on a darker fur for this beast, so we are primed with Army Painter's Uniform Gray Spray Primer. We are all set to go, so I think it's time we get to work. To start things off, we are using Army Painter's Barbarian Flesh for the skin. Since I'm planning on a darker fur for this model, I thought a lighter flesh tone would add a nice contrast. Here we are aiming for every part that does not have fur. This includes the hands, feet, face, and inside of the mouth. Now there are many places where the fur transitions into skin, and these spots are going to be tricky. A steady hand is helpful here, and mine is feeling pretty shaky for some reason, so I'm already planning on many touch-ups. Next up, we will be using Vallejo's German Gray for the fur. I wanted this werewolf to have a classic look to it. After all, we are doing classic monsters, and a dark gray, almost black coat was the first thing that came to mind. Painting large areas of black can be tough because it becomes flat and bland so quickly. Shadows can be lost in the already dark coat, giving little to no depth. So rather than using matte black, this dark gray is going to help us by allowing more dimension to come through. Next up, we will be using Army Painter's Pure Red mixed with the slightest touch of Barbarian Flesh for the tongue. Now, onto the claws, we will be reusing Vallejo's German Gray. Originally, I had thought of using different colors for the claws, but one of the earliest lessons I was taught in painting was keeping things simple. You don't have to use a new color for every single aspect of a mini, and in many cases, you can get amazing results in using only 4 base colors. After painting 2 of the claws a different tone, I decided to pull things back and simplify what I was doing, and in the end, I'm happy I did. Next, Army Painter's Matte White will give us some sharp-looking teeth. Next, we'll be using Army Painter's Barbarian Flesh mixed with a little bit of matte white to add a lighter tone to the inside of the ears. And finally, we will be using Army Painter's Dark Stone for the base of the mini. Onto our shading, we will be using Army Painter's Dark Tone for the entire mini. I decided I wanted to use one wash in an effort to help blend the transitions between the werewolf's flesh and fur. This would also give the benefit of darkening the entire mini to make it feel as though it was living in the darkness of a moonlit forest. Onto our highlights, we will actually be using a combination of techniques. For the flesh, we will be doing a quick pass of layering to accentuate the musculature of the beast, using the same barbarian flesh that we started with. Onto the fur, we will be using Vallejo's London Gray. Now, rather than driving ourselves crazy trying to highlight every single strand one at a time, we will be highlighting the fur by dry brushing. We will get a perfectly fine result while keeping our sanity. And to finish this model up, we will be using Army Painter's Matte Black to add 2 beady eyes to the already dark recesses on the face. And with that, our werewolf is ready to be let loose upon the world. All in all, this was a fairly enjoyable model. The fur on first glance was a little intimidating, but once I got into the swing of things, it really wasn't that tough. I will say, however, that the right eye on this sculpt could be improved. I was having a very hard time finding the detail in that, and it took me quite a few tries before I got that eye just right. But with that aside, I am quite happy with how this guy turned out, and would definitely enjoy painting another. And that will do it for our first look at classic monsters. This month has been a lot of fun, and I am looking forward to the next time that we do a themed set. Do you have a favorite monster that we didn't paint? Let me know in the comments below, and with any luck, you may see it in a future video. If you enjoyed watching this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more nerdy content. Once again, I'm Scott, and I will see you at the next Miniature Monday.